My children now.
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
You won, and I died.
I feel a rosy air. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
How's it hanging, Phil?
From the front time, bitch.
Come and get it!
So either put the gun down now, or kiss your ass goodbye.
Let's get this party started.
I agree, Dana. Let's get this party started. So, welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge,
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
and let's talk horror. So, before we get into why we're here tonight, obviously we have a new person joining us for a live episode. We have Antonia Carlotta. Antonia, how you doing?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
We
Very
are
good.
very good, very excited about tonight.
Mhm.
And we have a returning victim tonight. As always, we have the amazing Haunted Hippie. Kylie, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I wasn't ready for you to call me a victim, but I'm happy to be here.
Right. Seriously, it's amazing to have you guys on. And what's even more amazing is we had no idea a lot of this casting stuff was going to happen when we scheduled this. So for this to come out, it's come out pretty perfectly for all the amazing things that are happening right now. So if you guys haven't already, we have Antonia and Kylie's links in the description. So please make sure you're subscribing, following on social media, becoming a part of those families. Before we get started, Antonia, for the people that don't know you, can you tell people a little bit about what you do over at your channel?
Yeah, so I'm the great grandniece of Carl Laemmle, who started Universal, and he made a lot of the Universal monster movies, Dracula, Frankenstein, Phantom of the Opera, all of those. So my channel is all about Universal and that monster history.
Nice.
And you can check out her My First Horror Movie episode on the channel now to get to know her a little bit better and how horror started for her, as if that wasn't enough. And same thing for you, Kylie. For anybody that has not seen you here before, can you tell people a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, mostly like reviews and ranking stuff lately, but I have done a lot of deep dives on my channel, about the Halloween franchise or Friday the 13th, whatever. I've done like comparison videos. But this month I'm super stoked because my second independent short film is releasing on Valentine's Day. So I'm also a filmmaker. That's a little bit more behind the scenes, but it's coming a little bit more to the forefront.
That's awesome.
I can't wait for people to see this. So,
Yeah, they have seen it already. The Sledges.
Yes, we have. And we're very excited, not just because Kylie is like a daughter to us, but because we thoroughly enjoyed a lot of what was happening behind the scenes and watching all the hard work you did come into fruition. It's amazing. So very proud of you. Can't wait for people to watch it.
Thank you.
Catch up on the chat real quick. Ryan, thank you. You guys, Ryan also put Antonia and Kylie's links right in the chat.
Thank you, Ryan.
So if you're not subscribed to their YouTube, please go and do so. What is up, Stacy?
Hello.
My 2 cents. In fact, the Roman is back. Going to have flashback to Maureen's murder, possibly. Hello, Adrian. Hello, Charles. Hello, Connor. What's up, bud?
Hello, everyone.
I've been looking forward to this all day. Thank you, Charles. Honestly, so have we. And we got our first donation of the night, guys. So you know what that means. If I can find it now. Getting all bent out of shape over here. We go.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Charles.
It's appreciated. Why is this not? What is up, Ashton?
Hey, Ashton.
Hey, Scorpion from MKX. Ryan, how you doing? Byron, I'm glad Stu is returning. We will talk about that. Congratulations, buddy. I'm glad you have a new girlfriend.
Oh, that's awesome, Anthony.
No. I'll ask you guys. The question was asked. So does anybody want Dewey back?
I feel like I've been lured into some kind of a trap here. So the answer is no. I'm gonna wait to elaborate. Antonia?
Okay.
Well, I'm not exactly sure how it would make sense, but I guess I don't know how
Yeah.
some of the new casting news makes sense anyway. But like, I loved him as a character.
Right.
Very diplomatic answer. I feel the same way.
What is up, Dice?
Just bring every death back, like
Right,
with,
every
like
dead
Randy,
person, yeah.
and like let's just throw them all back in. Have all the
Tatum.
OG characters. Yeah.
We will get into that, Chris.
It's like April Fool's Day.
Right.
I welcome Tatum back.
I know, I love Tatum.
Yes, she is, and you guys should definitely go and subscribe to her channel because you can learn a lot of amazing things. I've been a fan for a long time. I was so happy we finally got the chance to work with each other on my first horror movie, and then to be able to work with her and Kylie together here. This is epic. It's time for an ice
And I've
cold
been
one
a
with Haunted
fan of
Hippie.
Kylie. I follow Haunted Hippie, so this is very exciting for me. Not gonna lie.
That's cool. I've been to the Lemley Theater in Glendale a couple times for,
Oh yeah,
for premieres. Yeah. So
awesome.
small world.
When stuff like this happens, that's the best thing in the world to us. Like Ashley and I love the fact that we were able to make something like this happen tonight and bring you two together, two of our favorite creators working together, and we get to be in the middle of that. Love it. Breaking news: T. Parker Evans has joined the cast of Scream 7. Source, trust me, bro. Now I'm definitely seated, T. Parker. Don't be bashful, Kylie. You are a filmmaker. You are.
Yes.
And I can't wait for people to see this. This is going to be so epic. Obviously, we're not going to be too into the chat tonight because there's a lot of people here and we do want to get through. I want Dewey back, Scraps, Scream 5 and 6 like they never happened. Unfortunately, can't do that because Mindy is back. Chad is
Both
back.
of them are back. So.
And we'll talk about that here in a minute. I'm just here to hear Ken scream Stu is dead. Be ready for it. Dewey is coming back via video footage or AI. Oh, and trust me, I've talked about how I want my Scream 7 opening for a long time, which I will talk about again today. Thank you, buddy. Interesting panel. Thank you. And on that note, if you haven't subscribed to anybody on the panel, make sure you subscribe to Sledgehammer Horror. Make sure you subscribe to Antonia. Make sure you subscribe to Haunted Hippie. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, and you hear YouTubers say all the time, oh, make sure you like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. It helps build these channels, and it helps us to get bigger, all of us. So please, it really does help the channels. Will Hayden Panettiere, she has not announced yet, but I will be shocked if she's not. I'll say, I see new pictures of her today with a ghost face mask and a knife. So I'd say anything can happen. So let's first talk about some casting news. We've gotten Stu coming back. We have Roman coming back. We have a plethora of new characters and just
a lot of new characters that it's like, oh. And
it was just announced today that Ethan Embry, who I love from Can't Hardly Wait, is joining the cast as well. And Billy Loomis himself, Ski Ulrich, has stated he will return in Scream 7. There has been no concrete evidence of this. That's just him himself saying it. So, Ashley, what with all these new casting newses and everything that's been released, what are some of your predictions for the upcoming Scream 7?
Well, I feel like it's gonna be like later, like it's gonna be like a time jump. Because in Scream 5, Sydney's kids are like young, and I can't remember who they casted for like her daughter, but she's like a teenager.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be a pretty big like time jump.
Okay.
And I feel like it's gonna focus more on Sydney and her life and her family, maybe like her friends and then like her daughter's friends.
Okay.
Like it's kind of like separated. Maybe like we are gonna see Ghostface torturing each of their like friend group, like hers and her daughters.
Okay.
And she also has multiple kids, and we know how like most of her family sucks and wants to kill her. So maybe one of her face, like you know, her brother, like her niece, like yeah. So maybe it's her child that wants to kill her this time.
Okay.
And her sister.
Okay. I can feel that.
That's where I feel like it's going.
I was thinking maybe I agree. I think that Sydney might be more front and center again. I don't think that we're gonna like delete the last couple Scream movies, but I do wonder if they'll push a lot of that stuff to the side, despite the fact that we've got Chad and Mindy back. But I think because Jill and Roman are related to her and have already been ghost faces, I was thinking that would mean her daughter wouldn't, just because it feels really obvious that like every member of her family gets revealed as a ghost face.
Right.
They go with a lot of the obvious choices though, because like when the first time that I watched the first Scream when I was like 15 or 16 or whatever, I was like, oh well, Billy is so obvious. Obviously, it's not him. So like I never know with this franchise, you know.
And then you watch Billy die.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh well, it's not.
No,
him.
Definitely not him because he just died in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, just kidding, it's him. So I don't know.
That's true. And maybe
she has multiple children. She's got like what, 3 children?
I believe it's right there.
Yeah. So maybe.
Yeah, and maybe Sydney's daughter is so like resentful of having been, you know, I could imagine her being very protective or being some of the same gripes as well that Jill had about having all the attention or something like that. I guess I could see her daughter like rebelling in that way.
Yeah.
And you also have now we know Sydney's divorced from Mark Kincaid, and so maybe that plays a part in it.
I might not be all caught up on all this then.
Patrick Dempsey, as far as we've heard, he is not coming back.
Yeah, so she has a new husband.
She has a new husband, Mark Evans, played by Joel McHale.
Joel McHale.
Yeah.
It was confirmed that Sydney was with Kincaid?
Off screen, like I think it was Matt Bettinelli open. I think they sort of off screen or behind the scenes confirmed that she had been married to Patrick Dempsey's character.
Yeah.
But that was never something that actually happened within the movies.
Right. Okay.
Real quick.
And I think when they said Mark, we all just
assumed it was Mark Kincaid.
But then they couldn't get the character back. So I think they're like, no, it's actually Mark Evans.
Yeah.
But do you think that there's a chance, especially because they're both named Mark? I was like, that would be really funny if like Patrick Dempsey is the ghost face at the end. Like, oh, you thought you could just switch me out with another actor? I've been here the whole time.
Go super meta.
That would be hilarious.
He just shows up with the pilgrim face. You know,
so I'm suspicious of these like the talks fell through statements from Dempsey.
Oh yeah, they just don't want to like throw it all out there.
Right.
They're like sprinkling to like what they.
Yeah. Real quick, Sean, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean.
Do you want it to be the final film of the series?
Yes.
No, because I felt like we were on the right track with introducing the new generation and like slowly phasing out the older characters. Like that felt right to me. Like maybe for now, maybe the final movie was Sydney. I thought I already got the final movie with Sydney.
Exactly.
Like I don't need. A lot of people don't like my opinions about this, but yeah, I didn't need Sydney to come back. If this is the last one with her and like this group, awesome. And then like let's take like a decade off and like let new trends and stuff build. But no, I wouldn't want it to be the last Scream ever. No.
I felt like
I agree. Pass the torch.
Would have been fine. Like the way they ended 5. I don't know. I felt like it would have been good. And with everything like going on and everyone getting fired and so much of like the negativity
I think
towards this franchise now, it just kind of it makes me sad because it's one of my favorite franchises.
I'm just ready for this movie to come out so people can shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry to be so
much drama over a lot of things.
Man, like it's so toxic. Like you for a while there, you had when what's his name was going to direct Landon.
Yeah.
Like his family was getting doxxed and people were sending him death threats after the Melissa stuff.
Like this is a movie.
And it's like, dude, I agree. Like I'm going to say this, and again, I really, if you want to see political shit, go to my personal shit. I'm very political on there, but it's not Sledgehammer horror. We don't want to be. I hated the Melissa Barrera firing right off the rip, and I still think it fucking sucks. But that's a Spyglass problem. Maybe after this, Spyglass will sell the rights to Scream, and whatever can happen. But for now, this is the movie we're gonna get, and this is what I'm cautiously optimistic.
I mean, maybe if they do like say it is Sydney's friend group that is now going to take on, you know, like the new generation, because obviously our core four isn't a core four anymore.
It's a core two.
It's a core two, yeah. If that even makes sense. But so I don't know if maybe we will like these characters, because I love the core four, and it just makes me really sad that that's not where they're gonna go with this one.
So T. Parker is kind of my go-to source for Scream news. Sydney was never married to Kincaid. That was just a fan service moment that was talked about off screen, not canon in the franchise.
Yeah.
So there is a chance that she never was married, because in Scream 5 they said Mark. They never said Kincaid. So definitely believe that.
She was
where was the
watching
question?
movies with him.
Yeah. A lot of people are boycotting this movie. How do you guys feel? We'll start with you this time, Kylie.
I don't know. I think because like the global conflict that like instigated this whole shit show, there's been a ceasefire now, and like I don't know. It's I feel like it loses a lot of nuance. I kind of respect either choice, because it's really whatever your choice is going to be kind of self-serving. I think like especially since getting more involved in the industry and like actually being employed in the industry and like acting and stuff, at least one person that you meet on a set of any given movie is gonna be a little shit, and like they're gonna be into some weird stuff or whatever. And like oftentimes it is like the face of the set. Like sometimes it is like the leading actor or something. But then you look around and there's like 20 people behind the camera that can pay their rent this month now.
Right.
So like I don't really have a good answer. I don't think there is a right answer. Because I'm personally too close to the situation. So
Yeah.
Well, and that's fair. Like I said, honesty is key, and I appreciate that. What about you, Antonia? How do you feel about that?
I think my answer is going to be another like very diplomatic answer, which is I support peaceful protest and like activism in the ways that people feel are important to them. So, like you're right. Like there are a ton of people who work on the film who have nothing to do with any of it. And it sucks if, you know, they get punished or like have to deal with the consequences of that. But on the other side, I think it's great when people are like politically engaged and taking a stand for something.
I think it would be different if like they were successful in like undermining Melissa and like casting her out and you know, blacklisting her. It had the exact opposite effect where her following blew up. Like she got a lot of support. So if it was the reverse, then I probably would feel differently, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing. I think that a lot of this stems from the passion that we feel about, and again, I don't want to get political, but I am against innocent people dying.
Yeah.
Regardless of situation, regardless of what you believe, I don't want to see innocent people that have nothing to do with religious wars dying or being brutally assaulted and tortured. I am against it. So if someone says that and they get in trouble for saying, I don't want to see innocent people die, I think that's bullshit, because that's how I feel. If there's innocent people on either side being killed, you know, you can't blame a whole group of people for the action of a few of those people. And that's something that we need to start remembering more now. So I don't want to see innocent people lose their lives. That's my stance on it. So we will see it opening night.
Yeah.
We will support horror and hope that it's a good movie. Now, we've talked a little bit about casting, and I want to get really deep into some predictions now. Let's start with you this time, Antonia. What are some of your full-on predictions of what will happen in Scream 7? But before you do that, Austin, give with a super chat. I saw some theories that this was a new nightmare situation following fictional versions of the actors from Scream being stalked by Ghostface. Your guys' thoughts on that? That was a super chat to you, Kylie. So let's start with you on that one.
I don't think that like the Scream fandom is ready for something like that. I think that is like, that would be a path so divergent from what Scream particularly is. Like, I know that there's like a big portion of the fandom that is very endeared to Wes Craven and also Nightmare on Elm Street, but like that is a different franchise.
Yes.
I don't think Scream's ready for that.
Right.
I don't know. I would like it personally. I don't think
Well,
that's
it's a way to bring everybody back. But,
yeah.
I
don't think
I'll
that's
talk.
right.
I'm going to let the ladies go first, like I have been. What do you think about that idea?
I agree. I don't think that they're ready. I feel like a lot of people would be upset with going that route because I think that the people that really do want like Stu to still be alive and well, things like that, if they went that way, then a lot of fans are going to be pissed.
Yeah. How about you, Antonia? How do you feel about that?
I think there's an aspect of this film that's going back to its roots a little bit, especially with so much, I don't know, what I almost call like nostalgia casting here, that I don't think that they're going to go so off track like that. But I could see that in a future film. Like I could see that down the line.
Yeah.
I think the reason I don't like the idea, Scream as a franchise to me has always been so linear and so good about consistency and continuity. And to throw that much meta into this kind of throws off what the franchise has built for me, if that makes any sense. With a franchise like Nightmare, you always had those staunch inconsistencies and a killer being killed and coming back and a nightmare demon. And you had all these things to where you could make a super meta film and still make it make sense. With Scream, the way that we've had such a linear line, it's been one of my favorite franchises when it comes to consistency and continuity. I don't think I would like the new Nightmare approach with Scream.
Yeah.
Maybe as a final film, I think I would be more apt to that. But I don't think this is the final film. And when we get into predictions, I'll talk about that a little more. But since it was a super chat, I wanted to answer that now. I'm sorry, Antonia, I didn't mean to cut you off. What are some of your predictions for the upcoming Scream 7?
I mean, I have 100 theories, but no solid predictions. Especially when it comes to like a lot of the casting news. I think when I think about the way that Scream usually touches on like cultural things or how, I don't know, society is moving, I tend to agree with a lot of the AI theories when it comes to Scream. I think that potentially instead of doing regular phone calls, it might be like FaceTime calls or something, and it's going to be all of the old dead characters coming back that way is one of my predictions. I'm kind of liking the theory I said a little bit ago, even though I obviously just flip-flopped, that maybe her daughter's going to be Ghostface because she's so resentful or, so mad at her mom over something. I don't think Joel McHale's surviving through the movie.
I think a lot, the kids have the Skibbity Riz Ohio shit, so they'd be able to do the AI shit on FaceTime,
Well, I mean, it goes with the times, right? And that's Scream has always kind of, done what.
Well, if they want to be hip, they should have me help write the script.
You said
cap.
You said hip. So
no cap. I can help write a great teen script.
I'm hip.
Yep. I'm with it.
Don't break a hip.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, we'd be getting that Skibbity Ohio Riz. People wouldn't know what hit them.
Okay. I think people are
I have a 16-year-old.
It's like, okay.
Good job, babe. But I actually do like your idea of the FaceTime thing, because that would be like with the AI stuff. That would be a really good way to introduce these characters back into the fray without bringing them back.
Yeah, I was nervous. Like, I don't want it to be nightmares. I don't want it to be. The other like theory that I've heard is maybe it will be a flashback showing Maureen Prescott's murder. That is interesting to me, but almost because so many people have guessed it, then I'm like, well, now I don't want it to be it because that's what everybody thinks it is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, if Stu shows up and he doesn't look like this, I'll be furious.
What am I looking at right now?
This is the face of a crushed TV guy. This is the only way Stu's allowed to come back. Only way that Stu is allowed to come back. I don't know. Like, I again, we'll go last on this one for predictions. What are some predictions that you have, my love?
I already told you my predictions. I feel like it's gonna be. I don't think that Stu's gonna be like alive and well. Like I feel like it's gonna be like a flashback, like in other movies, with Billy, yeah, like something like that, maybe to bring out the trauma in Sydney. But I do think it's gonna be very much so revolved around Sydney. She just doesn't know what I feel.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my grandma was calling me. I'll call her back.
Okay.
But I don't know. There's so many ways that they could go with this, and so many ways that would piss me off too. That I'm just like, I don't. What are you guys gonna do? Can we just? I want to see it already. Like it's coming out in February. It's gonna be 30 years since the first one was released. So I don't know.
I was there opening night for that.
Yeah.
Okay, Grandpa, let's get you.
Geriatric.
I think I was a
Like
little too
good
young
old
to get in the
days.
theater yet.
Yep.
I was a little bit
All right,
not
so-
born yet.
God damn
Oh,
it, I'm old.
ouch.
Sorry.
How about you, Kylie? What are
It was funny
some of
till
your
it came for
predictions?
me.
For me, I don't really want to see flashbacks. I'm not crazy about the way that they brought Billy back with Sam. I don't love how they de-aged him, kind of. Like, I don't know if he was supposed to be. They made him look kind of shiny. I don't know, maybe he's supposed to look ghost-like and he is supposed to look older because like he's her dad. I don't know. I have not enjoyed how they've done that. So I'm really on board with that AI angle. I hadn't thought of like FaceTime. I think that's a cool idea. What I was thinking is now not my preference because I feel like that AI thing is the only like reasonable way that they could look their age and like reasonably be in this movie. But I was thinking that because like Saw popped off just in 2023 that they were going to go for maybe more of like a Jigsaw kind of thing. I mean, John Kramer dies in the third movie. There are 10 movies. So I was thinking that it might be kind of like Roman and Stu and orchestrating things and flashbacks from beyond the grave, sort of. And maybe we would get like a Jamie Kennedy Scream 3. They've left old tapes or something. I don't know. I don't have anything super solid because I'm also like super unfamiliar with the cast. Like I know the big names. I don't know anybody besides like McKenna Grace. That's in like the younger cast besides the returners. So it's I don't know. It's tough for me. I feel like I don't have anything super solid right now.
Yeah.
See, I think that if they would have announced just Matthew Lillard, I would have thought Stu was coming back. But when they announced him and Roman in the same day, that's when I thought it was going to be Sydney kind of having trauma haunts from Ghostface's past. And if the rumors are true and Jill's coming back, I think that'll really seal the deal.
Do they really think she's coming back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of rumors that Emma Roberts will be reprising her role. Again, at this point, 100% rumors, guys. I don't want people being like, Sledgehammer Horror said she's coming back. Those lion sacks of shit. Like this is 100% rumors. I've heard a couple different sources say that they are in negotiations to bring her back. I think if
Mickey and Miss Loomis, and
I think if that happens, I think that will 100% seal the deal that that's what the angle will be. As for predictions for me, and this is why I talked about this earlier. Scream is a linear franchise that is all about consistency and continuity. Seeing Matthew, and again, I will wax Matthew Lillard's car till the day I die.
Yeah.
One of the best guys I've ever met. The things I've seen him personally do at conventions is amazing. The kindest guy on the whole planet. And he could be in any movie and I will watch it 1,000 times. But when it comes to continuity, Stu was killed in Scream 1. He was killed in Scream 1. Never mentioned again. Never thought of as a suspect again. every time there's Ghostface killers, they're like, well, who could it be? If you're going to tell me Matthew Lillard Stu's been alive the whole time and they never once even thought to go talk to him, that's going to piss me off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got the one little fan service line in 5 or 6, you know, oh, if you really believe he's dead.
Yeah.
Which, you know, was just radio silence going.
He's been in hiding.
Yeah, like, there's just so much to me that
Reconstructive face surgery. He doesn't even
oh, he's gonna need it. But it will make me, I will be genuinely pissed that for 5 movies in between this, we never got a mention of him. Police never tried to get him as a suspect. The original killer, and they never even went back to think about him. Another thing that'll really, really piss me off is if Stu's alive, I might walk out of the theater, honestly. If Stu's alive and it turns out that he's the one that killed Dewey, that will also infuriate me beyond belief. Like, it will make me lose my fucking mind. One way that I predictions, this is predictions / what I want to happen. I'm going to kind of morph into what we're hoping to see in this movie this go around. I've said for a long time, you could probably go back 2 or 3 years on Sledgehammer Horror Streams and hear me talk about this. So for people that have been here, I'm sorry you have to hear this again.
Is this the Dewey thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Instead of having an opening kill, like we always get, I'd like to see the movie start with Gail, you know, at the studio doing her thing, and they take phone calls. And one of the phone calls she gets is from the voice of Dewey. You know, whether it be AI or like the voice changer type thing from Scream 3, which I don't hate. I love it, a little ahead of its time. Not realistic, but I still love it. You know, and it's Dewey talking to Gail. You know, why'd you let me die, Gail? Why weren't you there for me, Gail? Scream 7. You know, and then that's how you could also logically use Roman. You could logically use Stu if they're doing this AI thing to not make me so mad about the fact that they're back. I don't want them to go the Chucky season 3 route where there's like poltergeist and ghosts and like completely jump the shark on all this stuff. But I think that that's the only realistic way is through AI. And then that's, like I said, that's a way you could bring Dewey back into the fold. At least use his voice, you know, talking to Gail, because that's obviously going to rock Gail. And then she's going to know, you know, Ghostface is back. That's how we get Sydney back into the picture, you know. And I think there's or when we first thought it was Mark Kincaid, I said I wanted to see him be the opening kill, which brings Sydney back into the fold. I don't think Joe McHale's going to make it.
I was just going to say there has to be something that brings her back into the fold because she's been pretty removed. So it needs to be, I mean, maybe I'm being like, and I don't know what you call it, originalist here. Like, I think it needs to be an opening scene kill. And then I think it needs to be somehow close enough to Sydney that she's back in again.
Yeah. I
Gail.
totally agree.
They're going to kill Gail.
I don't think the opening kill cannot be obviously Sydney. She's not going to die. I don't think she's going to die in the film. I don't want Gail to be the opening kill. I don't want Mindy to be the opening kill. I know everybody hates Mindy, and I've seen it in the chat, guys. I know you want to kill her off.
Who hates Mindy?
Everybody hates Mindy.
A lot of people.
Every time we talk
like
about
Mindy.
Scream, that's what I think. Every single time someone's like, "Can we just kill off Mindy, or can we get rid of Mindy?" I'm
I
literally
think people
just
think
like,
she's like abrasive or a lot. But I think, I mean, like, I feel like I'm a lot sometimes. So I sort of relate to her a little bit.
I
Every
think
time I hear
compared to me, she's
aim.
the way that I talk about horror movies. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Yeah. Every time I hear someone say it, I just feel like this.
Yeah, can I just stop you there? Yeah. I've got nothing to say. I just wanted to stop you there.
I got nothing. I just want to stop you. Stop. She was one
I
of my.
haven't seen that. I didn't know that there was Mindy hate.
Oh,
I
it's
was listening
huge.
unaware.
Yeah. You know, Chad, obviously, I think that he's been pin-cushioned enough. You know, if he's the opening kill, it is what it is. I mean, I love Mason Gooding, and he's, you know, a beautiful specimen of a man, but I would hate to see Mindy or Gail. Maybe I'm with you, Antonia. I am a traditionalist by almost every sense. If Gail's the opening kill, it needs to be huge, like a huge death.
Which her sequence in 6 was like very like if she was gonna die, I just feel like
should have been there.
It should have been there.
Yes.
So
One more thing I'll say before we move on. I also think with my guesses of the upcoming film, we're going to see a lot of death in this movie. A lot of death. Huge cast. Scream 6 played it way too safe. So I think that's another thing that.
Like, you think a lot of the OG cast is going to die, or like
No.
the
I
kill
think the kill count in general is going to be higher. James and Chelsea will be very excited at the end of this movie. But one last thing I would love to see, and this may not be popular with people, I would love to see this movie end with us not knowing who Ghostface is. We've always, at the end of every Scream movie, we've had that conclusion of this is who it was, they're dead, it can end here. This is who it was, they're dead, it can end here. Make it so Ghostface gets away this time. Set up a sequel properly. We don't know who it was, they got away. Let's move on to the next film. Antonia hates that idea.
Maybe there's more than one Ghostface, and one of them
Give
get
me
away.
some type of like teaser for a next film. You never have that. Every Scream movie wraps up in a perfect package. Give me a reason to come back next time.
Yeah.
Like,
but you have Kevin Williamson that wrote 1, 2, and 4. That's going to be directing this one. So I feel like it's going to go back to its roots of the OG.
Right.
I don't think that you'll get the same payoff of the film if you don't wrap it up. That's part of how you get to see what was witty or what was clever, right? Some of those, like that's what, like, for me at least, that's like why I finish those movies so content. And if I have to wait around for like a payoff that I could have had, then I don't think it's going to feel as good.
I was going to say, what would the climax be? Like,
yeah, because that's like one of the reasons you go in to watch Scream is like to figure out who the killer is, and then you don't even, like, you're not told who the killer is.
But I don't even want another Sydney movie. Like, I don't want it to be set up for like, let's bring Sydney back when she's like 75. Like, I don't want.
Yeah, no one wants to see the final girl from the first one come back 40 years later and then fight in a kitchen, and then the whole movie actually be based around another young guy that got evil transferred onto him. You know, we don't want to see none of that. You know,
no. I think for at least Scream 7, I would like this one to have a nice bow, like the rest of them.
Well, I mean, and we know for a fact that Sydney's not going to die.
Yeah,
Nev has made it very clear.
Doesn't she have like a contract where she can't die?
I think she owns creative control.
She did have a contract.
Over Sydney's character. I don't know if that's rumor or not. T. Parker, is that true? Please let me know.
I think it was just that Wes Craven always said, because he regretted killing off Nancy, he was like, I'm never doing that to Sydney. So I think it's more of just like a respecting a dead man's wishes. I don't think it was ever like I don't know if it was ever in writing, but.
Okay. Well, let's stick with you, Kylie. What are some of the things that you want to see happen in Scream 7?
I really am not like inspired at the moment with like the what we've been presented here. Because if you're gonna bring back Sydney, you're not even gonna give me her marriage to Mark Kincaid. Like, I'm not even gonna get the catharsis of finally seeing them together. Okay. Okay, what I want and what I'm pretty sure will happen, I'm sorry to circle back to this again, but I don't think we have to worry about Stu being alive. I don't want to see him alive. I know I'm talking about what I don't want, but like,
no, that's perfectly fine.
I feel like all the information that we have right now is such a mess, and I feel like it's more marketing gimmick than anything. So I really don't feel like we have to worry about like, is Roman alive? Like, I'm not playing into your hand, Spyglass. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, but could Roman be alive? Because he's like, no, like, it's not happening. I think we'd be kidding ourselves if we thought that they would be in the movie for longer than like 2 minutes each. I think that they just are trying to build up their goodwill again, brick by brick, and just try to like get us back in it. So that's what I don't think we're gonna see. I think that they'll pop up and it'll be sort of like I'd be okay with, and might even want to see them pop up in a similar vein to the whole like ghost face museum we got in Scream 6. Like I thought that was cool. I was, like, okay, heavy on the fan service, but like I'm a fan and I'm into that. I'm not the type to complain about that. So I'd be okay with that. I think I don't know if it's what I want, but I just think that we're going to go back to basics. We're just going to be with Sydney and her family, and they're really going to try to like keep it super grounded. And I'm into the mix of the generations. I just don't know how it's not going to be too similar to like Scream 5 in that regard. So yeah, with specifics, I just don't know what I want. I don't know what I want from this movie with what I've been presented, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, baby? What are some of the things that you want to see?
I need to know, like, because we have the Meeks we still have Mindy and Chad, but we're not gonna have Melissa, we're not gonna have Jenna Ortega. I need to know how they're going to be in this, but not talk about the other two.
If they killed them off screen,
That's what I don't want, is them to be like, oh, they're dead, and now they're like mourning their death. Like that's stupid, and I hate that. So like I really don't know how we can bring all these OG cast and then still have the new cast. I don't want them to retcon anything, because like you said, that it's been so, it's pretty steadily like
linear.
Yeah.
The consistency.
The consistency has been there all these years, and if they retcon a bunch of stuff, that's just gonna make me mad too. So I don't know.
Could I ask if you guys want to see? Because that reminded me. I think I would want Mindy to be the one to like lay down the rules, probably. Because like of the new cast, I just don't know. But like, if that's how they're coming in, I think I'm okay with that. If they just sort of like pop in and out, and it's sort of like open-ended, like, well, Melissa and Jenna could come back someday. We could pick up again with the core force someday. Like, I think I'm okay with that.
See, I think that Chad's gonna die. That's what's gonna bring Mindy back into the fold, and that's a way that you can have, Chad dies, so Mindy comes back to try to help. But you don't need Sam and Tara. You didn't kill them off, but they didn't come back. But then again, at the same time, Tara and Chad were kind of at the end of 6. So like
subtle,
I know. I know. I have kids. I can't say stuff too loud.
I don't think that they're gonna kill off Tara and Sam, because like I think that they would be too much of a benefit to this franchise in the future if they were able to come back. So I think that they will want to leave that door potentially open. I wonder if something like maybe Chad and Mindy could be older siblings to friends of older siblings to friends of the daughter or something, where then they can come in and be the mentor. Maybe like that will be the way in. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like, why would they all be in the same space together? And I think there's a pretty big age gap. So that, that's.
Sorry, I forget where, because Sydney doesn't live in Woodsboro, right?
No.
And she's not anywhere in New York.
I feel like I heard they were maybe going to be in like Indiana. Did I hear something crazy?
Like, initially it was supposed to be in Canada, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they were.
Or they were.
I don't know where it's taking place. Like I said, and it's so Seattle. Nathan says Seattle, which again I don't know. So that's, again, guys, please take everything you hear with a grain of salt. A lot of this is rumors. We're not saying. Okay, I believe this because T. Parker said it. Sydney lives in Indiana now.
Okay.
Random.
So, for those of you that don't follow T. Parker, do it, especially if you're a Scream fan. T. Parker is on the pulse of Scream. I swear to God, like he's a writer and just doesn't want to tell me. But the one thing that we were all just talking about that I don't want to see is Sam and Tara killed off.
Yeah.
One of my biggest pet peeves, I'm looking at you, Final Destination 2, is killing off a main character off screen.
They were killed by a brick.
Yeah, killed by a brick. Both of them. Same brick.
It fell on both of them.
2 carpenters, 1
landed
brick.
on their head. I mean, Jen is smaller, so
Right.
it like
It was like
hit
a
her,
friction.
yeah.
So, oh my God. I love those characters so much. Now you got me laughing. I love those characters so much that I genuinely don't want to see them killed off screen. That's not something I want. So let's get to the big, because I think that they kind of fucked themselves, honestly, by announcing Matthew Lillard. I think that was a huge mistake because either way,
there's something up their sleeve.
Here's the thing: like
I
they
think
did
it's
it
bigger. Like it's
they
bigger
did it for
than
marketing. They did
Yeah.
it for marketing. I get it. They're doing it to get asses in the seats. Half the people are going to be pissed because he's alive, or half the people are going to be pissed because he came back for a dream or flashback sequence.
Right.
Like now, there's no happy way for them to do this without half of the fan base being pissed. And like,
I feel like it's going to be like that no matter what.
I know, like my buddy Craven, Craven Something Scary, Steven, he is the innovator of the stew train. And he's been saying for a long time, Stew's coming back. He's on the stew train. He's been saying this since I've known the cat. And I've always, whenever people ask me, I say, just to spite Craven, no, he's dead. So people that I know, especially that follow Craven Something Scary, and Steven and all the great work he does over there on his channel, they're all in on Stu now. Stu's coming back. He's going to be a mentor, or he's going to be the killer, and all this stuff. I think that if Stu was going to be the killer, and again, this is just my opinion, if Stu was going to be the killer, they would not announce Matthew Lillard. I think that would have been something that was kept under wraps. However, in today's age, do we really think that Matthew Lillard could have gotten back and forth the set without somebody snapping a picture and it getting spoiled by the internet instead of them? So they're kind of in a catch-22 here. So
maybe Stu has a kid out there. Like he impregnated somebody before the TV fell on his head.
yeah, I'll be right back. Ooh!
Yeah.
And then smash, come back.
And now his kid is Sydney's friend. I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, we already got his house back. So I mean, so we kind of Antonia, did you say the things that you don't want to see in the upcoming film yet?
No, but I feel like you covered a lot of them very well. And I like the things that I just know that I want to see are very broad. Like I want to see the same sort of humor, and I want all the like meta, like I want the rules, I want the things. I don't want them to deviate so far from the formula that I like love and find comforting and laugh at over and over.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I don't know, Antonia. I know Kylie for a long time you did it, but do you watch trailers or no?
No. Oh, sorry.
No, either one of you.
Well, I'm thinking you were talking to me. I'm sorry.
Just did either one of you see the trailer for Final Destination Bloodlines today?
No.
Okay, then we're not going to talk about it. I think someone in the chat asked. I don't want to spoil anything if they haven't seen it, but I will tell you guys, this is how a teaser should be done. It's a cut-up version of one scene of the film. It all takes place at one scene, and it shows you those scenes. That one scene in the movie. It's about a 2-minute clip of a scene of the movie, and it looks pretty cool. I think it looks great. One last thing before we get back into Scream, because we got about another 15 minutes, guys, and then we'll be signing off and let you guys go on with your night. Did anybody see the Megan 2 news that dropped today?
The teaser's coming, right?
So I don't know if I should say this. It's kind of spoilery.
Yeah.
It is pretty plot heavy. They announced essentially the plot for Megan 2.0. Do you guys not want me to say it, or are you okay hearing it?
I'm not that big on Megan, so I don't really care, but
Go for it. Let's hear
it. I got to figure out what the other name is. So essentially, here we go. Here is the plot of Megan 2.0, and it reminds me of another movie very much. 2 years after Megan's rampage, her creator Gemma resorts to resurrecting her infamous creation in order to take down Amelia, the military-grade weapon who was built by a defensive contractor who stole Megan's underlying technology, which is a connection to part 1. We saw that happen at part 1. Mm-hmm. We saw that getting set off. So Megan is the hero of this robotic movie in part 2. which is very, very Terminator 2 Judgment Day to me. So I think that what we could do here is a lot. You now have Sarah Connor, who's going to see Megan and be like, "Oh no, it's evil," and Megan's gonna be like, "Dance with me if you want to live," and they're gonna go and they're gonna battle Amelia or whatever the hell her name was. It was just like I'm so excited about this movie, and that actually got me more excited. It's not the same old, "Oh, doll's back, got to kill girl." What do you guys think of the idea, the premise of Megan 2.0?
I'm actually into it because I thought that the end of the movie was setting up sort of like an AI house situation, but then we got afraid, and there have been like AI house movies before, so I was like, boring.
Yeah.
So that sounds cooler to me.
Yeah. How about you, Antonia?
I mean, I guess it feels like a really big departure to me, but I'm like curious, I guess. And I wouldn't necessarily, I think back to the original, like an AI playmate, and I feel like we're getting so many versions of that right now. I think that I just watched, what was it called, Subservience with like Megan Fox, and there's Companion, and I just started a book called Annie-Bot, which is like, I think the same premise. So I guess I'm happy that this is like not the same thing again. But I hope that action is like not my favorite genre. And when I hear you describe that, I see it moving more into the action space. And so I wonder if it might lose me. I don't know. It was like a lot to digest.
I think that Ashley and I are kind of not the best people to talk to about Megan or Megan 2.0 because our daughter is obsessed with Megan. The young lady that played Megan, Amy Donald, and her mother have become very good friends with Ashley and I. My daughter is like friends with Amy, like they call each other and they talk to each other on the phone. And so we're going to be supportive of this movie no matter what. I at least have enough integrity to let you guys know that I'm going to support this movie no matter what, because we love Amy. We love her mother. Yeah. They are so great. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about those things real quick. But before we sign off, back to Scream 7, I want to know the big sin. What is the one thing they could do that would piss you off more than anything else they could possibly do in this film? I'll start with you, Kylie.
Chill. Hold on.
You can. I've been sitting on this question. Even Ashley, she was like, "Don't throw any surprise questions at me." I was like, "Okay." Surprise.
I just think that there's so many ways that this could go wrong. I am anti Stu being alive, but I can't even tell you that I would be that mad if they found a way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Antonia, do you maybe want to go? I'm stewing on a couple things. Let me keep thinking.
I will say, I think if the return of all of these characters is a nightmare sequence, that would absolutely piss me off. Like, I agree. I think they're trying to build all of this goodwill. I think they're putting a lot of information out there to get everybody really hyped about it. And if it ends up being something that just feels like a cop-out once we actually see the movie and they did it just to say they did it, that would make me really mad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
What about you, babe?
Oh, I think that more than anything, if Stu and like even Roman were like actually like still alive, like it just doesn't make any sense. I think that would piss me off.
Roman, I would absolutely not accept. Absolutely not.
I know, but how could it even be possible?
Maybe he put a tennis ball in his arm so that stopped his pulse. That's what he did in the freezer, I've heard.
I mean,
maybe possible. They cloned his DNA and he's been growing in a lab this whole time.
That's yeah.
Or he was a twin. I would not.
Yeah,
of course.
That's mine. That is mine. That's like my number one sin that they could do is make one of these returning characters be a twin.
Like
'Cause what-
now
one of the-
I hate you. Like my brother hated you, but now
Yeah.
our brother
And
hates
I've been
you.
waiting for 30 years, Sid.
Yeah.
No, they already did the surprise brother reveal. They can't.
And that's what I'm worried about, because what was the big thing in Scream 3? You go back to the beginning and find out something that wasn't blah, 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 blah. No. Grounded, bad. Don't do that.
No, no.
I know.
I'm
I
gonna
just-
say,
It's
okay,
kind of
since you guys
how
have
they've
covered
gone.
those, then I'll just say that I hope that they don't I'm gonna be really picky about their treatment of Mindy and Chad. I don't want the way that they come in to be however they decide to like disregard the last two movies or something. Like I'd be vehemently against that.
Mhm.
So I guess maybe I don't want them to die. I don't know. But it just depends their treatment of the last two installments, how it's spoken about. It would piss me off if it was like disregarded in some way, or like, oh, we just took a weird detour. Blah, blah. Like for me, that's a no. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. My biggest one would be if they're ghosts that are if they're twins, that would be a huge one for me. Gigantic. I would be absolutely furious. The other one is if they're like, so guys, Stu's been alive this whole time and he's been in hiding because his mom and dad had money. So not even the police knew that he was going to be in
He's
hiding.
been
and
living on his island for the last
Yeah.
30 years.
eating nothing but tree bark and blueberries. And now he's back and he's been here the whole time behind the scenes. He killed Dewey. He's been the one pushing all these other ghost faces. Like that to me is just like, it's so unrealistic. And Scream has always, not only has it been consistent and linear, it's been realistic. There has not been, besides like maybe the voice changer in Scream 3, which went through production hell anyway, there's never really been that unrealistic, it's always been
I feel
a
like the
human being.
Roman story was implicit. That's why I'm just not that happy about him coming back. I don't
Like
know.
just
I
that
really
he
love-
existed?
Huh?
Like just that he existed and was coming back
that
for revenge?
nobody knew about him her entire life, and he was the one that actually killed off Sid's mom, and he was the mastermind for.
And that's what I don't want that to be Stu.
For the OG one, like I felt like that whole story was unrealistic.
I don't want Stu to be this big giant ghost face mastermind, and we have this cult of ghost faces. And again, I know there's a lot of the fan base that really, really wants that. And if you guys get that, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I
Really,
wonder
really
at
happy.
this
What if
point
it's
though,
that
if
in
it's I was just gonna say, like, if it's been so spelled out by the fans anyway, I feel like they can't really go that direction because it's just doing what other people have already written.
Yeah.
Right.
that's a good point. I was gonna say, Ken, how would you feel though if it was sort of like what I described, like a Jigsaw type situation?
See, I wouldn't mind that if we go back to the beginning, but
And like he's dead.
that would be fine. Like, I honestly don't even hate the idea of,
So like it's like flashback.
yeah,
Okay.
like how kind of like John Kramer.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
tapes or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I may be in the minority. I'm not against the idea of it being like this huge, ghost face trauma thing where Sydney is seeing Jill and Sydney is seeing Roman and Sydney is seeing Stu. Like I none of that would bother me. I know it bothers a lot of other people.
Well, I guess
And I get
she's
that.
never really. Well, I guess she did.
She saw her
see her
mom,
Yeah, and
you
she
know,
did see her mom.
Like, so she's had those fever dream type things. That honestly is one of the scariest moments of any Scream movie.
that
by the
crazy
way.
ass dream. Yeah.
I wonder if she could just have an entire mental break in this movie, right? Like the years
Like,
of trauma
my
that is
whole
built
life
up.
has been ghost faced.
Uh-huh. And now she's just lost
And-
touch with reality.
After my daughter or some shit.
Yeah.
My family.
But I still think that you need a grounded ghost face in the end.
Yes.
That, whether or not she was losing touch with reality, something had to be real,
Right.
Yeah.
I want to see Ghostface in this movie have a white robe. See the blood splatter on that white robe. I think that would be dope.
Yeah.
Somebody in the
King
comments
Ghostface
said
with
that
white
their greatest sin would be if it was a musical, but I actually think I want to petition for that for Scream 8.
That
I
would
think
actually
there
be
are a
dope.
lot
I
of
would
fun
be down for a
places.
Scream musical.
Yeah.
I'd be into it.
I'm gonna find you anyway. Like, oh my god, that would be dope.
Mhm.
Gotta get Roger Jackson to sing it though. I know you want.
Oh,
Like,
do we know if he's cast, by the way?
he is.
He is, yeah.
He is.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Because another big sin for me, like you guys talked about already, Billy looked terrible de-aged. Tony Todd, God rest his soul, looked terrible de-aged in Candyman. I don't want to try to see Roman and Stu and all them de-aged. Like, you can do it practically if you're doing a flashback of them together. You know, and if it's even them now, if
What if
she's
it's a zombie movie and they come back as a zombie?
I want to change my greatest sin.
Don't. So like, don't get me started on something like that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I like I said, there's so much. We're all premature on what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
We know nothing about the story. Obviously, we're going off what we've heard rumor wise. We're going off of casting. This is all just our opinions, and I'm so glad that we were able to get you two on here to talk about what some of your opinions are of the casting and what you hope happens, what you hope don't happen. And after the release of the movie, I would like to bring you both back on and talk about how close we were. Are we
or bitch
satisfied?
about what we hated.
Yeah.
That will be me. I'll be bitching. I guarantee you. So yeah, I think that we could get a great movie.
We could.
I'm
hoping. I mean, I don't want a bad movie. It's the Scream franchise. Like, please don't do that to them.
Hasn't been a bad movie yet.
Right.
Yes, my brother had one, and he wore it all the time and did it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Logan.
I remember
It was
those.
a ghost face mask, and you had to pump with it, and the blood would come through the mask.
Those were like triple platinum in the streets in the early
Yeah.
2000s.
Yeah. Or the little like thing that he had where you squeezed it and like the blood bubble. Like, do you remember that thing? It was like a ghost face like action figure. And you squeeze its head and like
the blood would come out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I remember. I thought you were talking about a mask. I was like, no, I don't remember this. I was seeing Logan like,
yeah.
But my big thing is I don't want to deter anybody from being excited about this movie. We already talked about that at the beginning. Just it's a horror movie, man. Like that's what it's all about at the end of the day. I just want to be entertained. I don't want to be bored, and it can't be any worse than 4. You know,
Scream 4.
Yes, 4 is my
like
least
that
favorite.
one.
I like 4 too.
I'm in the minority.
I think 4 is like
I
one of
lo-
the most brutal ones. Like
There was
Scream,
something
like-
about 4 for me too, where like watching Scream 1, 2, 3, everybody was old, like so much older than me when those came out, and it felt a little removed, where 4 suddenly felt like this is a movie of my peers. And I don't know, like I just instantly connected to it so much more. And then now with like 5 and 6, I feel almost like older, or I don't know, it feels different, but 4 really hit something for me.
I think for me, Scream 1, 2, and 3 was all my peers, and then 4 came out, and I was like, oh, look at all these little shitheads running around.
Fair enough.
But
I
know what
think that
it is.
you were
I
onto
wanna like
something
4.
before, which is like, for the most part, Scream really hasn't had a bad movie, even if they're like, even their bad movies, either a lot of people like, they're just like divisive, or I don't know, they still had a lot of great things to love about them. Like I know a lot of people don't like Scream 3, but like Parker Posey in that movie, like it's so fun. Like I think it's so funny. So I whatever, they haven't had a bad movie, and that makes me really optimistic that even though we have all these things that we're saying, I hope this doesn't happen, I hope this doesn't happen, I actually think that they might come through, and none of those things might happen.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's going to be really grounded, like just Kevin Williamson. Well, he's not writing it, is he?
No, he's directing.
Directing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. But I don't know. I have a good amount of faith in him as someone that works so closely with like Wes Craven, and obviously is the person who created this franchise. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be like super divisive. I feel like just his style is just so
Kevin Williamson.
Grounded. I can't think of a better word.
Reading the chat right now, after I said I don't like Scream 4, people are coming at me like, I didn't mean to offend you all.
Yeah,
I'm
and
so
earned
sorry.
and deserved. So
Damn. I'm sorry.
I mean, we get Kirby and like I love Scream 4.
yeah, Jill is like my favorite killer. I think
She's like batshit crazy, hating herself. Yeah, like
I don't know what it is. I think I get taken out of the movie every time because I hate the double fake out opening.
yeah.
Every time I see that, like I hate fake outs. I hate them.
We get the Pretty Little Liar.
I do. That's why I was happy. I was like, yay, Lucy now.
I love
Wait,
her.
I think that's a way though where they changed the formula a little bit while still honoring the original. So like
And
where you're
pissing
saying
off
you don't
geriatrics
necessarily want
like
an
me.
opening kill, there are ways to make it feel fresh even without taking the kill out entirely. I loved the meta kill within a kill.
I love it too.
Within a kill.
I do. And Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I got taken out every time. Maybe if I start watching it after that, I just won't be all pissed off by the time the movie starts.
I don't know.
To me, that was as bad as what's his name, the doctor in Halloween 2018.
Oh, Ranveer Sartain.
Sartain.
Yeah.
It was as bad as when Sartain put on that stupid fucking mask and stood up. Like that to me was the Scream 4 equivalent of the double fake out.
You gotta learn to release. You can't hold on to this anger. You gotta learn to accept, and then maybe you can enjoy, laugh at even.
Yeah, good luck with that. I'm 40. I don't go backwards anymore. I'm too old. But seriously, you guys, I want to thank you two, obviously, for joining the panel and being a part of this.
Thanks, lady.
Seriously means a lot. Everybody that was here in the chat, thank you so much for coming out. It really means a lot. Please, like I said at the beginning, if you haven't already, subscribe to Antonia, subscribe to Haunted Hippie. Those links are in the description. Two of the absolute best content creators you could ever hope to follow. And they have a lot of amazing things coming up for us in the future. So please make sure you do that. Ladies, please don't go anywhere. We got a couple more questions for you. Everybody else, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help build the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Our links are in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror.
Stay where you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.
Bye.